To go to Loom to have them. Hi, everybody. It's Monday, March 25th. Today, as we've been discussing, is the 25th day of the challenge. It's actually the 20th. We kind of started on the first. That was a welcome day. But as we've been talking about, we've only had 15 actual days of work in the challenge. And at the end of this week, we will have only had 20 days of work. So I'm extending the live challenge only 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So if you're watching this after the fact and you're not watching live, just know that I'm continuing it until I have actual 30 days of classes. And then that'll be packaged up as the actual final 30-day challenge. So good news for everyone. We're going to keep going. We'll have a much better product because of it. Okay, awesome. Let's do it. All right. So here is where we were when we left off on Friday. We have our demo bots that are our demo bot that is linked to two ways, right? It's this Facebook agent chatter bot. I'm going to delete this chat because we're going to test it again to start the day. Okay, so I did do some work this weekend, and let me show you what I did to catch you up real quick. The custom field that we talked about that we need to route the bots, I changed its name. Instead of agent type, I did lead type, and here's why. It was a little confusing, all the naming, because if it was a certain type of agent, then you'd want a different bot based on how I name buying bot and selling bot, and it does matter for real estate because there's listing agents, buying agents, but yeah, you can buy a home or sell a home, which are different, right? So here's what I did, minor change. I changed the name from agent type to lead type, and I changed it from buying to buying, selling to selling, and then rather than say, and then I say general instead of agent. Okay, now let me show you the change in CloseBot. So in CloseBot, I now have our default or receptionist bot, okay, that asks for the lead type. See, so here's my extra prompt, and I did tweak it slightly. So just to recap, because this is the important step to route and hand off from bot to bot. Okay, so the first bot, the receptionist bot, is going to ask, why are they here? And it's a real estate agency. So the lead may be here for, and I wrote this because I want the bot to only have like 3 options. It's not going to say this necessarily, but that's kind of what it's going to be waiting for. So to see a listing, to sell their house, to talk to an agent. That's why the lead is here. Okay, I want to see a house you have for listing, or I want to sell my house. And I want to talk to an agent, talk about real estate stuff. And again, I map this to the field that I just showed you that I changed from agent type to lead type, right? And this lead type has buying, selling in general. Okay, so this question is going to make that pull down menu custom field map to one of these. All right, and then we have this workflow, step 2, where we're looking at that custom field to route the bot. So if the lead type is selling, the buyer bot's going to get triggered. And that means if they're selling a home, we're going to try to buy the home. Okay, and I slightly changed the naming here, right? But you get it, hopefully. Okay, and then if the lead type is buying, they want to buy a home, the seller bot's going to get triggered. Let's sell them a home, okay? I've added one bot here. And the reason is because we also have we have 3 bots. We have a receptionist bot that if someone wants to sell their home, it tries to buy it from them. But if they want to see a home, it has to be kind of a general listing agent bot, right? So if they do this and come to here and do listing bot, right now it goes directly to a home, which is cool for this demo. But if someone comes into the demo from here, the receptionist isn't going to know what house they're looking at. So we need to make that. And also, this example, which we worked on, this form, remember when we submitted it and it emailed them and said something to them, and then when they responded, it talked, they can ask about the home, and it tries to schedule an appointment to look at the home. We need to also tweak this just a bit so that this bot hits this new bot that I created called listing, and then it's the address of the particular bot. There's probably better ways to do this if you're a real estate agent or have a real estate agency for scale, meaning I'm going to have a ton of listings for one client, and I really need to have a lot of these conditionals. There may be a way to automate this with custom variables, but I'm not going to do that in this challenge, okay? Cool. So I want to make sure that and now here's what's slightly different also, and here's how I'm going to trigger this bot. these bots are triggered by a change in the lead type custom field, right? Which we talked about. I also added another custom field, if you remember, called listing address. And this is what gets stored when this is what gets stored when they fill this form out. If you remember, we made a hidden field with the address in it. So we're going to have to tweak that so that that workflow we made toggles. We're going to do that real quick. So that's why that's what this third is here. And oh yeah, so the way that this is triggered is this. Rather than looking at the lead type custom field, I'm actually looking if the listing address is not empty, then it's going to go down that path. I'm sorry, if it's not I'm sorry, if the listing address is not empty, that means that it has, in our case, only one address possible in it, the 7922 address, okay? And then it's going to go down that path. And that's what we're going to use for the email response on just that individual listing, okay? Now, if they want to buy a home, any home, then it's going to go down the seller bot, okay? Cool. And the seller bot we already have. The seller bot is what now we're calling this 7922 Sly Fox. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, so I can keep this 6052, this listing bot, and here's why. Okay, so the receptionist is bot 6053. If I go to it, I added and renamed some. So just to show you one more time. So the seller bot, which I changed the name to seller bot. So I did slightly change these names. So get a look at that. Right. So the seller bot is what if someone says I want to sell my home, the seller bot's going to come up. And this is going to try to buy their home. Okay. That's 5918. Just to be clear, 5918 is on the buyer bot. It's going to try to buy their home. So that's right. Then we have our listing bot. This is going to be the general listing of the bot. So right now, this questions objective is asking about this custom variable that last week we put into this specific objective on the individual listing so that the email that gets sent out after they look at it here can get triggered properly. If there's any questions, oh, hi, everybody. That's new. If there's any questions, raise your hand. I know this is getting complicated, but it's going to get complicated. Cool. All right. All right. So yeah, so I've got two bots here that I need to make sure are right. So because I made a third bot. So I've got the seller bot, which is going to try to sell them a general home, and the listing bot is going to is only going to talk about the listing. So we can keep that last week we put into this here. So listing bot's right. I'm sorry. So listing. So here is the let me look for a second. So this is the individual listing. So 6219. I want this. So I'm going to take 6219 and I'm going to put it on this individual listing here. Now we're going to test it. I could be totally wrong here. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to save it. And then again, the receptionist is going down the none lane of a conditional. And there's always a none lane. You can't delete it. So it's not blank. You got to put the receptionist in there, right? So that's the right number for the bot. All right, now let's actually, before we test it, let me tweak so this is the 7922 Sly Fox bot is the one that will ask specifically about their bot. And just to recap for people that might be new to today, our receptionist bot is going to come in. It's going to ask them why they're there. There's one of three reasons, and that's how it routes them. Then it's going to ask for their name. All right. The reason I have the rest of these objectives in here is in case it doesn't know the lead type or it's the general lead type, it's going to continue here and try to book them. So the second question is the name. This is also the handoff question or objective. Watch. So lead type, and then it's going to say, okay, great. What's your name? When they answer, the way we set up this thing here, the next time they answer, things will have changed, and it's going to send them down a different lane, right? So that's how it's routing. All right. So watch. So let's say they say, oh, I want to buy a home. They say, yeah, I want to sell a home. So they're a home seller. So it's going to go here. Wait, I'm getting confused. Oh, yeah, I got to erase that one. Sorry, I'll erase that for sure. So it goes to the receptionist. The receptionist is going to say, why are you here? Say, I want to sell my home. That's going to go here. And this one is going to try to buy their home, remember? So because the receptionist's next question was name, and then it switches in the router, this is the trick to get the next bot to pick up. I have the same objective as the first objective in each of these next second level bots, right? And the reason I chose name is twofold. One, I think after a few bots, I've decided that it's better kind of say, hello, you know, how are you? If you're trying to be a receptionist or whatever, if you're mimicking someone who answers the phone, to say, hi, you know, either how can I help you, or hi, you know, what service are you here for? Are you pressure washing? It could be like, are you here for windows, you know, the whole house or the driveway? Then they answered. Then it says, oh, great. What's your name? Can I get your name? So it's also kind of a barrier from people that are texted wrong, possibly. So you may save some money on a conversation that doesn't go anywhere rather than asking their name first. But I'm using it because it's easy to put in and remember. So anything you put in from a few of these first fields, as we talked about, will auto populate. So when I do name, it puts the right things in. Everything's going to match, including the objective has to be named the same in all of the second level bots. Okay. Again, I talked about this on Friday. I posted in the group. There's a demo I made. So if this is confusing, the handoff step, you can watch that. Okay, great. Now, I'm not going to save that. Okay. So there's this bot that tries to buy. So now we have our buyer bot. So this, if someone wants to buy a house, this is the bot that gets triggered, and this is the bot that we need to tweak. And I need to erase the bot so it doesn't confuse me or everyone else. So I'm going to get rid of this bot called listing bot. I'm not using the listing bot. Let me get rid of it. Dumbhead, I like turtles. I have a dog. Stupid name. See ya. Sorry. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So we need to tweak this bot called the buyer bot. Someone wants to buy a home, so they get the buyer bot. Again, it you know, the name is in here, so when they respond to a question, it's going to answer in here, and it knows this is a slightly different stacked objective layout. Oh, disregard. Okay, I need to get rid of this thanks router. Disregard. Okay, so now it matches. Great. So here in the bot and for someone who wants to buy a home and is looking at this listing, we have a different bot. Remember? So that means that the difference is that I'm using this variable that we pass into this bot. Let's make sure that's in here, and I'll show you what that means. So if they come to this listing, I need to make sure that it knows what the listing address is. So when they look at this bot, and if there's a previous class that we did all this where I added the hidden field, it's going to pass this through, populate this field, then this gets passed into the bot so that it can be used here, right? But I don't know what listing they're looking at if they're just a house buyer. Hey, I want to buy a house. Okay, cool, right? So rather than asking if they have any questions about the listing, this objective is going to be, so to ask for their name, email, phone, then the very first question it's kind of going to ask is going to be, what type of listing are they looking for? I call it listing type. And then I'm going to say, what type of listing are they looking for? And then find out what type of listing they are looking for. Okay, and then we're going to do a sub prompt here that says at lead name. This is the variable that all the bots know, which is the name of the lead. And they give you their name in this step because this is after that, so you should definitely know their name. At lead name may be looking for a house, an apartment, land, a vacation home, whatever it is this realtor has to offer. And you need to find out what. Then what we're going to do is the next thing we're going to recommend a house. That'd be cool. So let's do this. So before I hit save on here, then I'm going to need a field. I'm going to go over here. We're going to make a new field. Okay. So I have my real estate bot fields. I've labeled them all for us. So when you get the snapshot, they're all going to be in here. The snapshot you have on Friday is old, so you get a new one later. All right. So I'm going to make a new field. And I'm going to do, I wonder how many different, well, I like to do these drop downs, these single drop downs, because it limits the values that the bot can save. Not what the answer can be, because we're going to have an other category, but it just kind of helps moving forward. But you need to prepare it properly. Okay. So I want this to be in real estate bot. We're going to call this one, what was it? Oh yeah, listing type. Listing type. Okay, so the first listing type will be single family home. And the next one will be apartment, condo. And then one will be land. One will be vacation home. What else would a realtor offer? They might offer, they might want to sell vacant land. I don't know. Not a realtor. That seems enough. Now I'm going to add this other. Yeah.
Look at that message. You just booted me off of my kid's iPad. I'm dumb turtles. I like dumb turtles.
Oh my God, that's so that's okay, good. Now we know sometimes it is a child. You didn't notice everyone, there was someone in there with a ridiculous name. I couldn't tell if it was mean or not, so I booted him. It's James's kid. Who just actually was trying to be funny. Or just
I was
in
just
whatever.
joining from the iPad so I could look at it on a bigger screen, and then you booted me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Don't believe everything you read in Zoom rooms. Cool. All right, so I'm going to add one more. I like to do this in my multi-lines, in my drop-downs, my single drop-downs here. Other. I'm going to save it. Okay, now we have use of this. Listing type. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my bot. I'm going to close this. I'm going to save this bot. And then when I open up this objectives, that field will appear because I want to map. I'm going to capitalize. No, I'm not going to capitalize it. Yeah, I am. I like to match the type, everything listing type. And then down here, what happened? Looks like it. Oh yeah, this bot needs to be connected. So let's do it. Here's how you integrate a bot. So I'm going to go like this. Oh darn, I'm going to need an API key. Okay, cool. So I learned something cool that if you don't put in an API key, that it'll charge CloseBot, but I have an API key. Okay, connect. Now it's going to bring this up. Going to find agent chatter. You don't have to hit back. You just let it go. All right, cool. Now, all right, now, all right, cool. Objectives. So here we are. So listing type. Those are back up. So I want to get in listing type here. So now it's going to map this answer to listing type. So house and apartment, vacant land. Wait, what are my options here? I've got single family home, an apartment, condo, vacation home, vacant land. And again, I'm just letting the bot know what this is. It can also pull from this, but I find this technique slightly better lately. Okay, cool. Now it's going to I'm not going to have it asked that many times. I'll have it asked like 3 times, and if they don't respond or don't know what to say, so maybe if I can do it. So now we're going to make this more of an advanced objective prompting here. I'm going to open up this section, advanced, do a new example. So if they say, I don't know, say that's okay. So this is what how the bot will kind of respond. That's okay. One of our friendly agents can help you. Can help you. And then it's just going to pass them on. So I'll give this a. That's okay. Actually, no, we don't want it to pass them on. We want it to be a negative rating. So I'm going to say, maybe a house, some land, vacation home, vacation home. So it's going to be a low rating, right? So 10 out of 100. I don't know why I didn't do 0. It didn't pass. And then just to show you what a positive example is, and I could say, I want a new house. Great. We can certainly find you one of those. And that's going to go right into booking, but I'm going to make this a high rating, right? Obviously, this is a high rating, 100%. Okay, cool. So now we have a negative rating and a passing rating. Okay. Cool. So that's how that works. It'll also help with the prompting. Oh, what happened? I lost the prompting here. Oh, I guess there's no response on the unprompted one. Yeah, that would make sense because it's gonna pass. Okay, you only need to put a response in on a failing one. All right, cool. All right, now the next step is booking. They all have booking at the end, so I'm going to save this. I think we're almost ready to test. So this bot is going to just kind of try to find out what kind of home they're interested in, and then book them. Theoretically, we could make an objective to make an even more advanced bot, perhaps, that depending on the listing type they select, if they select single family home and you can use that for the demo, then it'll show them this one. It'll show them the bot for this. Let's do that. That would be cool. All right, cool. So let's do that. So then all these bots are talking to each other and routing each other all around. It's going to be awesome. All right, cool. So now, oh, this isn't 6502. This is, what happened? All right, so I need to change this real quick. I just got to get the right number. This is 6219. This is wrong. 6219. Okay. 6219. But we're going to test it right now. I don't want to get too, oh, I forgot to save it. That's the problem. Down here. I can't see the save button. It's my other screen's covering it. There we go. That's better. I wonder how often I've been doing that. Save action. Okay, I'm going to save this. All right. So we haven't done anything. So, oh yeah, we need to change one more thing. So if you remember, last week we made a email. We made this bot here for this listing. So I need to make sure that it's on this listing. So the method we were doing it before was adding a tag called bot listing and email. I'm gonna leave email on here. I don't know if we're using it or not, but what I'm gonna do is initially adding a tag. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna update a contact field, and I'm gonna update remember when the triggers when the field is updated, or if it's not empty, then do something. I'm gonna change and it's the listing address. And all I gotta do is type in 7922 Sly Fox Lane. And then do that. Okay, so update listing address. I'll type it in here so we don't not know what it is. Okay, cool. So listing address. So then it sets the last email to com. Boom, boom, boom. So hopefully that'll work. Great. Awesome. So now we can test everything. And we will. All right, so let's erase my contact. So here's our custom fields. Questions. I don't know if we're using it or not, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my settings, and people are asking why are you erasing why are you erasing the contact when you can do a reset? And again, I just think that it works better if you're testing bots that you completely changing, maybe not to just, if you're just changing the prompting and you want it to sound different. All right, so now let's test this thing out. So I want to submit this. Okay, it's good here. So if I submit this, I want to make sure that it does the same email conversation with me as it did before. I could have went the other way and used a different name and email address here. That was stupid. All right, I'm going to do that actually, because then it'll be faster. That's funny. All right, so I'm going to do this. So let me go the other way. Sorry. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to erase this contact. I'm going to go this way. All right, so let's test the bot over here. So message, so I'm over here and testing the receptionist bot. So if I say hi over here, then while we're doing that, on the individual listing, I want to trigger the right bot. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my name. Smith. Oop. Jones. Steve Jones. And I'll change the address. Oops, darn it. That's annoying. Oh, I need to see the email. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to use my personal email address here. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So I submitted this form. It just says, thanks for taking the time to complete the form. Okay, so I've submitted this form and I should get an email. But while we're doing that, let's look over here on our receptionist bot. Agent chatter. Hi, how can I assist you? Are you looking to buy, sell, or just have some questions for an agent? Let's say I want to, so I want to look to see if it'll trigger the right bot if I want to buy a home. So I want to say, I want to buy a home. So that should trigger this bot, which just kind of asks, what listing are you looking for? Now watch, the next question it's going to ask, oops, I need to do this. Yeah. If that works, it should. Okay, it already knows my name, right? Because it's coming in from Facebook, so it goes right into the phone number question. And just to show you, so it's asking, that's exciting. I'd be happy to help you with that. Now in CloseBot, I'm going to go to the receptionist bot just to see if she's the one, or not she, it is the one, sorry. It is the one who said that. I like to do that sometimes if I'm doing a multi-bot setup. I kind of go back and forth to the dashboard. This is how you can be sure that it's switching. And it's better to test and find out now than later. Yeah, cool. So the reception did say, that's exciting. I'd be happy to help you with that. Even though this contact's, the lead type has been changed, right? It knows what the lead type is, but it hasn't routed. So just so you know, it hasn't routed yet. But it will route after I answer this question. So I'm going to say, here's my email address. Whatever. Gmail.com. Okay, so now it's going to skip through. And now the next response is going to say, we're probably going to ask for my phone number. I'm sorry. It's going to ask for my email. No, I saw a phone number. I'm sorry, I misread that. Whatever. Let's see what it does when I gave it the wrong information. It'd be cool if it stores that, even though it didn't ask. Okay, now we're going to troubleshoot. I'm going to refresh the receptionist bot and look at the dashboard. Yeah. Nope. Okay, so it didn't get my response. So let's see if it did indeed switch bots to the, I said I want to buy a home. It's going to go to the buyer bot. Oh, let's see if I can see this response in there, maybe. Then we're going to look at, I'm going to look at the entries, the entry. Okay, so the bot stopped. Let's find out why. This bot hasn't said anything. So there's a problem in the switching when I gave it the wrong answer. And I know that this is the contact that was created. So these are the goals accomplished. I know that it accomplished the name because it came in from Facebook, and we have that extra step in there that toggles that on if it already knows the name. Then it asks, why are you here? So we know that it got lead type, which you can see here in this pull down menu, right? So you can set this manually if you'd like also. Didn't ask listen type, so it didn't finish. So let's try this again. I'm going to erase this. See, there's two entries. Oh yeah, because one came in from my personal address and one came in from the fake address. So that's cool. So I'm only going to erase the bot over here that's giving me a problem. And then I'm going to look at that bot real quick. So let's see if this bot's responding. So right now, hopefully this individual listing bot is responding. Nope. I think I might have messed something up. See if the seller bot. Well, no one responded yet. I gotta look at my email. Okay, so the seller bot responded twice. Although this was, what's the date today? So this is me here, these two last entries. All right, so there's something switched wrong. So all I got to do, I knew this was kind of a problem. This was confusing me yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to just go back to close bot, process message. So it looks like it's switching these two up. So let's just double check here. Buyer bot 5918. See, I have these wrong. So the seller bot is 5918. Okay. And then the buyer bot is 6118. Okay, cool. This happens. No big deal. Okay, now this will work. Good news. I thought I didn't know what I was doing for a sec. Okay, cool. Now let's erase this. And erase this too. So the tags, email about listing. Da, da, da. You know what? I think I forgot to save that automation just like I did this one. Doesn't seem right to me. Here, I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't need that. Tag. I'm gonna save that. Okay. Let's say add email tags. I know what it is. Okay, now let's test again. So now we have all our bots. Let's test it again. Jeez, it's gonna leave me alone. Okay, cool. Now we gotta test this one. I also want to change one behavior. It disappears too easily, and I also want to make this bring up the pop-up just for ease of use. Same with this. So let's go. I'm gonna tweak this real quick. I'm just doing a side thing here for a second. And go to sites. You have our listings bot. So here's the listings. This here is that page. I'm gonna edit it. And I want this to actually bring up the pop-up. So just go to pop-up. Cool. And I'll do the same thing on this button here, because why not? And I want to do one more thing, which is I don't want the pop-up to disappear when they click outside because I kept just doing that and it was irritating. Okay, cool. Save. Cool. All right, now publish this. And now we're going to do this again. All right, so I'm going to start over here. On Facebook, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, so now it should come up all over the place. So when I click this, it should come up. Okay, cool. And I can't click off of it. Great. So let's change the name of that. I do want to go into my, darn it. Hold on one second. Okay. All right, so I've submitted this form. So that should start an email string with the listing bot for this individual listing. Now let's talk to our bot now that we've fixed that slight error. Hi, I'm gonna ask why I'm here. I also want to do one other thing, which is make sure each bot, each second level bot needs to match in terms of the questions it asks in the front. I think that may be why it broke. Okay, so name, email, phone for the seller bot. The buyer bot should also be name, email, phone. Name, email, phone. Great. And then this bot should be name, email, phone. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So let's see what it said. Hi. So here's this bot. Geez, this guy's really leaving me alone. Okay, so here's this bot. Hi, how can I assist you? Okay, I want to buy a home. And it should now put us in this seller bot. I'm sorry, the buyer bot. That's exciting. Could you share your phone number? Sure. Okay, and so I know that we already looked receptionist. Bot is saying that. So when I respond with this, Should trigger the next bot. Great. So now let's check this bot here. So I want to buy a home. Let's see if buyer bot said this rather than receptionist bot. Okay. So I'm going to go back to dashboard. If it did, then we're kicking with gas. Yes, great. I've got that down. Okay, good. So the switch is working. The handoff is working. So let's get back to it. What's my email? Use this one. Okay, cool. Now, I also want to check my email and see if any emails have come in. Well, we can look. So this should have gone to this. This bot here should have been triggered. This bot hasn't been triggered properly. Okay, well, we'll fix that in a sec. Let's see what it does after I give my email. Thank you. What type of home you're interested in? Are you looking for a house, condo, or perhaps something else? Well, that's right. So this is our buyer bot. And if you recall, he designed it to ask for the listing type. So that's what it's doing. Now let's just try to book. I'll say, how about a house for my family? Huh, I made a typo. Good thing about CloseBot and ChatGPT is that it handles typos very well. All right, so this is going to try to book me, I'm going to guess. Just here. Great, so it's going to try to book me. All right, now let's move on. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to go down the other path. We got the seller path, right? And then we'll fix the listing path, the individual listing, and then we'll be done. Okay, delete chat, delete that chat. I'm going to delete these two contacts. Which is here. All right, so I'm going to get rid of both of these contacts. Sorry, James. Starting over with you two. All right. All right, now over here on Facebook, I'm going to go the other path. I want to try the, I want to sell my home response. Hi. It's going to ask me if I want to sell my home. Buy or sell. Let's see. Okay, so this triggered, but it didn't work. So I'm doing two things at once here. Okay. Hello, how can I assist you? Are you looking to buy or sell your home? I want to sell my home. So in this case, it's going to should try to buy their house rather than offer to be their agent for the listing, which they can do too. That's great. Selling a home is a big deal. Could I get your phone number? Right. So we know that it's going in the right place. And then let's look to see if we got the right bot. So that should be not the buyer bot, but the seller bot. I'm just going to there's ask quite a few more questions. Yep. See, there's my answer. You can disregard these other responses. They're wrong. Actually, it's the third response. So I see what's going on. To ensure I send you all this information on the right place, could you also provide me with your email address? Awesome, sure. Once all these demo bots are created, we're going to tie them all together with another step after you book that says, wasn't that cool? Would you like to book an appointment with me to discuss how we can get AI in your agency, your real estate agency? So that's kind of the self-selling demo. So once these are done, that's how we're going to tie them all together. All right, so the bot responded. Thanks for that, Josh. I'm here to help you through the process. It's prompting me to sell my home. So the seller bot, it's a little more detailed. Looks like this. It asks for the timeline to sell and why they're selling, which is what's asking me now. Why do I want to sell my home? I won the lottery. lottery, and it is too small. Okay, so now it's going to ask the next question in this lane, this priority column here. It's going to ask, when do I want to sell my house? And I'm going to say, how soon are you hoping to move on to something bigger? Nice response. Congrats on the win. That's exciting news with your new fortune. How soon are you hoping to move on to something bigger? Pretty good. All right, I'm going to say, oh, right away. Right away. I'm so rich now. All right. Now it's going to ask this fourth priority question, interest. So this is going to say, rather than like, hey, do you want me to be your listing agent, try to help you sell it? What if I just buy it straight up from you? So that's this question. And I'm not saving this in any field, by the way, but you could. Would you be interested in a quick as-is sale to help you move on to your next adventure seamlessly? So that's a neat little service to be able to offer realtors, in the sense that, you know, you could send a database reactivation style outreach program to this bot and just try to buy homes and hit hundreds of people, and someone hopefully will bite. You could also theoretically buy listing data. You could buy like cell phone data, maybe email addresses for people in specific zip codes. I'm sure they're not going to be cheap. These have to be opted in people that ask to be inquired about regarding real estate matters, right? But you can find them, I believe. And if you do, you can use this bot here to try to buy homes and flip them. So that's kind of what this bot is. So let's answer it. That's fantastic. Do you want to do a quick as is? Oh, yes. Buy it off me, please. Okay, so now it's going to judge interest. And again, it's going to try to book. All we got to do is hopefully fix that last bot in the next 13 minutes. All right, so while that thinks, okay, absolutely, we can discuss this. How does a phone call at 12:30 sound? Excellent. Great, so it goes into booking. Now, let's fix our buyer bot. No, the buyer bot worked great. It was this individual listing bot. I guess I got to check my email to see if it worked, right? So let me check my email. I don't think it did. Oh, it did. Holy cow. Yeah. So this works great. So here's my email. So this bot responded and it said, thanks for your inquiry into the specific property. Would you like to discuss this further? So I'm going to keep going down this path and I'll say, yes, I would. I'll send it, see what it says. So it looks like this bot is going down the right path. If I do, yeah, it's going on there. So this should have responded, I think. I got to double check the numbers. Yeah, see, something doesn't look right to me. So this is bot 6219. Looking at process message. This router here. 6219 6. Oh, that's why. Wrong bot. Wait, is that right? Yeah, okay, that's the problem. There's your problem. Okay. 6219 6219. So 6118, is that my bot? Yep. Oh, look how many it jumped. Okay, cool. So that's going to be why it didn't really work. Oops, here. Okay, let me save that. Okay. All right. I'm not going to test it. I want to add one thing here because we can just start testing this right away. So I'm going to add one more step now. This is kind of like doesn't come. Oh, Luigi, what's up, dude?
Hey, quick question. When you get the response from the bot now, does it send it to you in the same email or it sends a new email?
Good question. Let me look. It is a new email. Just don't forget, it's a new email because they didn't respond. It's from that form.
Right, because my experience is that every time that you respond, it responds back through a new email. I don't know if I'm doing something
No,
wrong
I know what you're talking about. It might. I've seen that. we'll look into it. I'll see. I haven't gotten an email yet anyway. But I do want to do this, guys. So I'm going to delete this chat. This is the kind of a secret step that doesn't come with the snapshot here. If I'm going to add it in, I'm going to call it workflow 4. It's going to be cool. All right. So now we talked about tying all of these bots in a way that when they're done scheduling on this dummy calendar, because you're just demoing Agent Chatter services, it's going to schedule a real appointment with you to provide these services. Excuse me. All right. So here's how it works. Let's change. Well, I'm going to change the name. We'll call it demo. No, I want to call it a step 4, and we'll call it dummy. No, not dummy calendar, but that's what I called it. We'll call it just demo calendar. Okay. So the trigger is going to be when calendar is updated. Excuse me, and let me get up another bot that I have going on so I can just duplicate it. All right, so sorry, one sec. I'm looking at that previous one. Here we go. All right, so the trigger is appointment status. Oh yeah, so watch. So if the appointment status, we'll call it fake appointment status, is booked. You can call us whatever you want. And the event type is normal. We're going to add a couple filters here, and this is appointment status is. And I'm going to do confirmed. And then I'm going to do in calendar. Look, we have a dummy calendar. So I'm going to, in the dummy calendar, right? I'm going to save that trigger. Now, I'm going to add some steps here. I'm going to add a conditional. We're going to have 2 things here. One's going to be called dummy calendar. Yeah, this is a little slightly more complex than we need. So I'm going to do is dummy calendar. Okay. Oop, sorry. And I need to do workflow trigger is why didn't it bring in that workflow trigger is oops. Hold on. Not sure where. Missing segment detail. Workflow trigger. Here, let me do that again. I'm going to save this. Trigger, appointment status, I'm just duplicating. Make sure it matches what I'm doing here. Okay, let me just look at this trigger. Normal, confirmed dummy calendar. Okay, save that trigger. Then I want to do this conditional. If else. And then all this is going to be is workflow trigger is fake appointment status is booked. So I don't know, it didn't populate. All this is doing is taking the workflow trigger that I created over the top. I don't know why I didn't save it. So I'm going to call this one fake appointment. And this is for internal use only. I actually have to make another bot to make this work. It's going to be fun. All right, cool. Now, just looking here. Hold on a sec. You guys want to see what I'm copying? I'm copying this. So I'll zoom in. This is mine. We're gonna do something like this. All right, here we go. So, calendar, that's not calendar switcher. This is calendar switcher. That's the name of the thing. We're gonna call this fake appointment. Then down here, what it's going to do is if a fake appointment is set, it's going to wait a second so that GoHighLevel can do its magic while it does the appointment handling because it isn't instantaneous sometimes. 0.06 is like 5 seconds. Doesn't have seconds in here, so that's why I do that. I'm going to save that. All right, now I'm going to add. I'm not going to set the tags. There's no tags I need to remove for this bot routing. Okay, which is cool. So for this, I'm looking at what I did here. I'm not going to reset the bot. Yeah, I'm going to reset the bot. So the next thing I do, say reset the bot. Actually, no, I'm not going to reset the bot. I'm going to do this next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add a new tag. We're going to call it demo-complete. And then we're going to have a new trigger. Oops, demo complete, add new tag. Okay, cool. Now, add demo, and I use this all the time. This works really cool. I'm going to add the demo complete tag. Then what it's going to do is it's going to send an override message. And all you do to send an override message is update a contact field. Override. So update the contact field, select field, custom field. It's here, bot override message. I'll just copy this one because it works well. And it says this. It says AI chatbot demo complete. Wasn't that cool? Would you like to set us up for your business? Blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm going to save that. Then the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to test the bot and see if it gets this far. If it does, we're almost halfway done with this counter. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to set this demo complete tag, and I'm going to switch the bot again to a secret hidden bot called demo complete. And all that does is it routes them back. It just kind of lets the bot know that the demo's finished, and it does the scheduling. And then when that's done, it switches them back to receptionist, and they're the back of the top of the loop. Okay. So we only have a couple minutes here. So let's test. Are there any questions while I'm doing this?
Hey Josh, quick question. The bot demo complete. Can you go over that part again?
I didn't do it yet. I have to make it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so I'll probably get to this tomorrow, but we'll finish this up. So I just want to test the bot and see if we can get the override message to trigger in the very least.
Josh, in the meantime, do you want to check that email?
Yep. I didn't get the second email, but I was also changing around things. I have to test it one more time. So again, if you're, just new here, or if you've been following us all along, testing is a giant part of the bot. It's almost half the bot. So you've been watching in real time. Okay. Hello, I'm glad you're connecting. Are you available for a 15-minute appointment? Oh, you know why? Because I forgot to do this. It's mid-conversation with me already. All right, let's try it again. Okay, there I am. What can I assist you with today? I want to sell my home. That's weird how it said something slightly different. That's okay. That's why we like conversational AI. Okay, so I'm gonna guess it goes down the right path. Should ask me for my phone number or my email next. Yep, here's my phone number. And as you use your bot over and over again, it'll be up to you to decide if it's, sounds right for you. I mean, how people expect their bot to respond. I think everyone has a different view in their head or a different sound in their head, maybe. So we're not going to tweak the tone of the bot right now at all. We're just going to let it answer how we want it to. Email. The dummy email. Fine. So tonight I'll fix some stuff here so that when we get started tomorrow, it'll all be fixed up and I've tested it and we can just keep going faster. Okay. So are there any questions? Because we're done for the day kind of, but I am going to finish this up here. Any questions from anyone? Okay, cool. So now it's asking why do I want to sell my home? I'll say the same thing. I won the lottery. I have said that there's been a murder and it still kept going like a champ. It didn't stop at all. Some sympathy, but then it kept trying to buy the house. But it did ask a question that I didn't tell to. It said, are you going to clean the home up first or can we buy it as is? So the bot's pretty cool. Congratulations on your win. How soon? Right away. I was going to try to schedule. No, it's going to ask me a couple other questions. One more question, then try to schedule me. Yes. I was going to book. Okay, great. All right, so now it's going to try to schedule me. And then it should respond. Well, it's going to respond with, okay, your appointment's set, which is good. Fantastic. Looking forward. Okay, now I'm not going to do anything and just wait a second. And hopefully that override message will come. And if it does, nice. So there it is. So that's why you had that wait stuff. Look how fast that was. My goodness. That's really quick now. Close bot. Way to go. But they saw it sends the override message, and now the demo complete bot would take over, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. So thank you everyone for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.
Bye, Josh.